Hello and welcome everybody to the Gold and Silver Club Commodity Markets Outlook for the 26th of May 2016, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So today we will be analysing the latest developments in the commodity markets. We'll be discussing our outlook for the week ahead. The live session will be covering an overview of the commodity markets. We'll cover top trades of the week, live market commentary, trading ideas for the week ahead, and of course we'll be answering any questions at all throughout today's session. So any comments, any questions, your contribution is definitely valued, guys, so do keep those coming and we can come to those as we go through the charts as well. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is the world's #1 commodities trading and investment coaching company. We're regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading. As internationally respected experts, our analysis, our opinions on the metals, the energies, and the agricultural markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, Global Banking and Finance Review, the Wall Street Journal, and of course, it's a pleasure to be here on FX Street as well. Our team of experts has trained and mentored over 100,000 private traders from all over the world to increase their wealth and generate substantial monthly income through commodities using our signature trading strategies. So for more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, feel free to visit our website, which is at www.thegoldensilverclub.com. Now, moving over to some of the latest developments in the markets, we'll talk about a couple of markets first of all, which is oil, and also we'll have a look at soybeans. We've had decent breakouts on both of these markets over the course of this week. Essentially, one of the key data points that we've looked at on oil over the last week has been the increase in net long positions, which have risen by 30,475,000 contracts to 246,996. The biggest gain since March. So we've seen an increased institutional demand, investment demand. We've seen hedge fund managers continue to add to this buy position. We also saw the disruptions of supply over the last week, uncertainty in Nigeria, export troubles in Libya, and wildfires across the Canadian oil sands. They revived the bullish bets that crude prices will rally in the near term. And with that, we've seen oil essentially rally, get very close to $50 per barrel, and we'll have a look at that on the charts very, very shortly. Actually, in fact, we're just about breaching those levels as we enter today's US session this afternoon. So we'll take a look at that very shortly. Another market which I absolutely want to put on your radar is soybeans. So soybeans is currently breaking out to 2-year highs. Soybeans is up 23% year to date. We've seen incredible breakout on soybeans. Prices surged again to 2016 highs today. Hedge funds, they've had more inflows into this market yet again, increasing their net long positions. We've seen a massive 186,578 lots, the highest level on record since April 2014. And with that, soybeans again breaking out to 2016 highs. And we've got a lot of clean air now for soybeans to break out. It's a runaway move so far. And I'll take a look at that with you more closely as we move over to the charts very shortly. Okay, so with that, before I go ahead and show you some of the analysis on the markets, we'll have a review of the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies. So if we just move over to that, first of all, we had a lovely sell short opportunity last week on platinum. We closed out of this position towards the end of last week after the minutes from the FOMC were a catalyst for a breakout on the US dollar. And with that, we had a lovely breakdown on platinum as well as gold and silver as well. But platinum offered us the better trade opportunity for a 420-point profit on that breakdown in price. Now, sugar, we've had some lovely longer term positions on sugar. We've now seen sugar break out to 18-month highs. In fact, we just put out an update this morning on sugar on our longer term positions as we continue to profit from this breakout, that we were taking one of our trades off the table as we breached key resistance here, and we've hit one of our profit targets for 260 points of profit on sugar. So that's been a beautiful breakout trade and breaking out to 2016 highs as well. And corn as well. We've seen corn, wheat and soybeans all this morning continuing to surge. We've caught another great trade on corn, 270 points profit right at the upper end of our resistance channel, hit our profit target, and we continue to be in another corn longer term position as well, as we're seeing these markets just break out again to their 2016 highs. So with that, we'll move over to the technicals, guys. We'll have a look at the charts now. We'll just we'll go ahead and also we'll bring up, first of all, we'll have a look at gold. We'll have a look at some of your questions which are coming through as well. Okay, fantastic. So we've got the live feed there. If there are any questions at all, do keep those coming as well. So we'll move over to the charts. The first market we'll have a look at here is actually going to be the US dollar index. So the US dollar right now, we can see we've had a decent boost to the upside following on from the minutes on the FOMC last week. That's had some good follow through. We saw a break above key moving averages here, key overhead resistance, and now we're in an overbought condition. So in the short term here, I am watching the US dollar very carefully because it is starting to run out of steam. It's been a good run. You've seen a V-shaped reversal pattern. It's broken out to key resistance. And at this point in time, it's just consolidating around this zone. I am looking for the potential for the US dollar to break down over the course of the US session today and into tomorrow. It's kind of in decision mode at the moment around this key level. So I'm watching the US dollar index very closely. Now, it is worth noting we've got some significant news items coming out both tomorrow and also as we go into next week. So if we have a look at next week's schedule, on Monday, it is a bank holiday in America and also in the UK as well. So volatility is likely to reduce, or certainly volumes in the market will reduce on Monday. But then we are starting to move in to some very key news announcements. We've got next Thursday the ECB announcement. We've also got OPEC, an OPEC meeting next Thursday as well, which happens every 6 months. That'll be very important for oil. And next Friday we've got the non-farm payroll. And tomorrow Janet Yellen is speaking. And you'll recall last week Janet Yellen caused quite a surprise in the markets, where she had essentially put back on the table an interest rate hike as soon as the next FOMC statement, which is on the 15th of June. So with that, we've seen a strong US dollar correction on the precious metals. So at the moment, you want to just have a look at the metals and where they're looking at the moment on the market, what key levels we're looking at. We'll have a look at a raw chart, and then I need to go a little bit deeper today because of the overall price structure on gold. So normally we look at more raw charts, but I will share with you a little bit more detail on gold in particular, but we'll stick to mainly raw charts for the other markets. If we have a look at gold right now, you will note that we breached below a very key level of support last week. We broke through a Fibonacci level, the 1242 zone, and currently we are sitting around support. So we do have a supportive channel at this level. So I need to go a little bit deeper on the chart. So if we have a look here, we're coming back down to an oversold condition. We're definitely back in the buy zone here for gold in the short term. It's oversold, it's overdone. This correction in the market at the moment, in terms of the technicals, it is overdone, and it's due some sort of retracement back up to resistance here before it will likely break down much further. Although we've got a few news announcements coming out this afternoon as well, which will have an impact on the US dollar and also the precious metals. Most important focus really for us is going to be Janet Yellen's speech tomorrow. If we have a look at Fibonacci levels, we're sitting around 1217. We've got support at a lower end of a trend channel, which you can bring back going back to mid-December last year. This is providing support. We're just shy of a key moving average here as well. So we've had this corrective pullback at the moment. What I'm looking for on gold in the short term is over the course of the US session today, I want to see, we've already breached above yesterday's high, clear rejection candle on the chart, a lot of underlying support around 1200 to 1230 at the moment. We've got a lot of investment demand around those levels, which we'd like to see whether that holds. So what I'm looking at into the close today is whether essentially gold closes back above yesterday's high here, and we start to make a rotation back up to the upper end of its trend channel. Now, that might well be short-lived. So the move that if we do get a retracement here on gold, we could get a move back towards the upper end of the trend channel here, and then we really want to see how gold does react. If we do that, if we do get some follow through this afternoon, what I'm looking at for correlations here is silver. So silver at the moment, it breached back above yesterday's high. It's forming a bit of a basing pattern. Potentially this correction is complete at the moment in the short term for silver, and it's holding on to a key moving average, which here is a 50-day moving average essentially on silver. If it does hold on to that level and it remains in the overall price structure which it's in at the moment, we could be in for a short-term base, close above yesterday's high, and start to build back up towards the upper end of this resistance channel here on silver. So that's what I'm looking for in the short term. We've also got, so I'd look for a pop on silver, gold, and also platinum, palladium back up towards the upper end of their trend channels. US dollar in the short term may roll over here, break down a little bit further. It is overbought at the moment, and with that, we've got some opportunities on the metals. Platinum has already breached above yesterday's high. Nice little pop to the upside today. It's also found support at some underlying trend channels here as well. You'll see where platinum probably likely some profit taking around this zone, as well as some short covering as well at this level. So platinum's had a nice little bounce here. Palladium also popped back above yesterday's high. It's been breaking down consistently recently we've been getting lower highs, lower lows, particularly following on from last week's FOMC statement. So palladium has come back to an area of support on the chart. So watching that quite closely. Again, I'll be looking for some sort of retracement over the course of the US session today and as we head into tomorrow's US session too. So I'm watching the US dollar very closely right now to see whether it will break down and roll over, and with that whether we'll get some good follow through here for gold, which has been supported at some key levels right now. The major buy zone for gold currently sits between 1,205 US dollars per ounce up to 1,230. A break below that level and close below that level, then really what I'd be looking at is much higher timeframes there, and I'd also be then looking at the 50% retracement zone here on gold. Okay, so that is the major level I'll be targeting if gold was continuing to break down. So if we look at gold year to date, gold remains as the number 6 best performing commodity so far this year. Okay, so up 15% so far year to date. Number 1 is soybean meal, number 2 is gas oil, number 3 is soybeans, number 4 is lumber, number 5 is sugar, and gold is up 15% year to date at the moment. So still remains strong. So a correction, we're overdue a healthy correction. Gold has been going up 5 months in a row. It needs to correct in order to go higher, in order to have the next second leg up on the current bull market, which we seem to be in over 2016. That's what a lot of the technicals are showing us right now. A 50% correction is expected. It's normal. It's usual to get this. And that would take us down to 1174 on the chart. So if we were to breach through the 1205 zone, if we were to, particularly on the FOMC statement in mid-June, if we were to continue to see a grinding lower here of gold, that is the major level I would look out for. So 50% retracement back to the 1175 zone, and then that will be a major decision point. Obviously, if we continue to break below that zone, then we could start to look at this as a really failed move to the upside. But it's still got, it can still retrace in the region of about another 500 points while still remaining a strong uptrend. It's still up 15% so far this year. Gold, it's still an impressive move in terms of the overall percentage gain this year to date. Now, another market I want to absolutely put on your radar right now is soybeans. So the runaway move on soybeans this year has been very impressive. Soybeans at the moment is up 24% year to date. So it's been an impressive move. We've got a lot of clean air at this level right now for a breakout. So where soybeans is sat in the overall context of its higher timeframes, you can see here where it's about to take out, it's just literally taken out November 2014 highs. And there's a lot of clean air above this level. It's been basing over October, November, December, and February. January and February, we continue to find resistance at the 910 zone. We got a pop above that level during March, and we've followed through in a big way here. We've continued to see a runaway move here to the upside on soybeans, and now we're just knocking at the door of this overhead resistance where again there's a lot of clean air for soybeans to break out much further. You can see that on the higher time frames. If we really do get some good follow through, break above this level, if we get back to about the 1100 zone on soybeans, we've got a lot of upside potential here. We could really start to ramp up here. Soybeans, in terms of bear markets, it ranks right up there. This is the second most significant bear market the soybean has been in, the move that we got coming off the 2011 highs here on the daily chart. Okay, so that has been very significant, and typically the bigger the bear, so the bigger the move that you get to the downside, the more extreme the correction, the bigger the roaring bull which comes back afterwards. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. We've had a roaring move to the upside for the bulls so far in 2016. So soybeans, again, at the moment, third best performing commodity so far in 2016. So you absolutely want to have that on your radar. And with that, I'm looking now for the correlation. So we've already had a decent breakout with corn. We've broken back above 2016 highs. As I mentioned before, we continue to have our positions on here on corn. Corn's just been a great breakout trade, continue to break out to the upside over 2016. The USDA reports, which we had going back about 6 weeks ago, were very supportive for the corn market from a supply and demand point of view, and we've continued to see investors, hedge funds, money managers continue strong inflows into corn. And with that, we've seen a nice pop today to the upside. In fact, I can just bring it out a little bit more detail for you today, just in terms of corn right now. We'll take it off the raw chart, just put a little bit more detail. So in the context of the overall price structure, we're targeting more upside here. I'm looking for a move really back up to the 420 zone at the moment here with corn. So I do like this overall price structure. Wheat as well. Wheat is just coming off again another retest of its major supportive zones here. We've had a nice little bounce to the upside again here, good follow through with alongside corn and also soybeans so far this morning during the UK session. I'm looking to see whether we're going to get a similar breakout now on wheat as to what we've seen on corn and soybeans as well. Wheat, from an investment point of view, it still represents good value at this zone. It's sitting still within its much higher timeframes. You can see it's been a very significant move to the downside, a very significant correction going back to 2012 here. So there is a lot of potential upside for wheat as well in the weeks to come here. It looks to be, again, on the higher timeframes here, we're basing out here on a lot of the grains, the agricultural markets. You can see we've sort of got this rounding bottom formation at the moment. So we're continuing to monitor that very closely on the grains. I do like the overall price structure of these markets. We've got some nice breakouts. Sugar as well. If you, for those of you who might trade sugar has had an impressive move so far this year. Sugar at the moment, which we continue to be long on, is up 16% year to date. So that's been a nice breakout. We've got a breakout above 18-month highs just today again here on sugar. And I'll just move you over. In fact, we'll have a look also at a coffee in a little bit more detail as well. So sugar, for those of you who trade sugar, sugar's had a lovely breakout again today, taking out its 2016 highs. I would now turn your attention to coffee too. Coffee has had a correction, which was, again, just looks to be at the moment just a short-term correction. It's come back down to about, you can see the lower end of its trend channel here, producing at the moment a higher swing low on the market. I'm looking for coffee for an opportunity to get back for a long here, because we've had a nice breakout above a major resistance channel, which has been in play going back to 2015. So far, we've continued to hold back above that channel since we've broken out from that zone. We've got some short-term, certainly some short-term momentum to the downside over the earlier part of this week. But at this point, I'm looking to see whether this pullback will get supported, will start to form a base here, and if we'll get back on track with a runaway move that we saw over February and March this year, which is essentially been the case with sugar so far. We've had a runaway move again, taking out the 2016 highs here. So I'm looking for more upside on coffee, but I'm waiting for confirmation. It needs to really continue to support this underlying support at the moment. So again, if you trade coffee, which might not be as many of you as trade oil and gold, but if you do trade coffee, it might well lead to a trading setup over the course of the next couple of days here. I would keep an eye, very close eye on coffee. Now, moving over to the energies, we definitely want to have a look at oil, because oil is continuing to break out. Oil has now broken out again, 7-month highs here. We're actually up in terms of the lows that we put in January with oil. We're currently up over 85% off the lows, where oil broke down to 12-year lows in the 3rd week of January. So it's been an impressive move. Both light sweet crude oil and Brent crude oil now moving above $50 per barrel, which has been a very key psychological area of resistance on these markets. So I'm looking at the moment to see whether we will get about $1.50 to $2 pop back up to resistance in the short term here for oil. We've broken above this consolidation. We're coming back up to this whole zone, which we continue to consolidate throughout October and November last year. This was the point actually at which we broke down on the OPEC meeting on the 4th of December 2015. And we're now coming up to another OPEC meeting next Thursday. So if you want to put a date in your diary, if you don't have it there already, if you trade oil, next Thursday is the OPEC meeting. A lot of traders will be looking at that for the short-term direction, the mid to short-term direction for oil, and we'll be looking at that, paying a lot of attention to that as well. The crude oil inventories, which came out yesterday, again gave more fuel to the fire here for more upside for oil. It was bullish, and we've continued to see an increase in long contracts, in buy contracts here. There's additional investment demand over the last week. We've continued to see that grow practically every week so far over really the last 2 months or so. We continue to see strong investment demand here for oil. So at this point in time, short term, I'm looking for more upside, probably in the region of about $1 to $2 move, taking oil back up to major resistance. But then I would watch out. We've got oil, the OPEC meeting next Thursday. We've also got the Baker Hughes reports coming out tomorrow as well. So unless you already have a position on oil at the moment, I would personally, just sit tight and wait for the overall price structure to develop here and dictate what we should do as we go into OPEC next week as well. So I would expect short-term more upside to the upper end of this overall resistance channel, which we've got overhead, and then likely around the 50.81 to 51 zone. That's where we're likely to encounter some resistance here, and there might well be a short-term sell short opportunity in the weeks to come. unless we've really got enough fuel here to break above and close above the $50 level and make really a run for higher zones here, which the next major overhead resistance I'll be looking at will be the 52.37 level at the moment. So overall sentiment on oil is bullish. We've broken through critical resistance in terms of the overall sentiment and short-term geopolitical news. We're looking for more upside here on oil, but as we go into the OPEC announcement next week, just be mindful that that is likely to be a catalyst for the next short-term direction here for oil as well. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on that too, for sure. Okay, fantastic. So just a bit of a recap for you guys here in terms of what we're looking at as we head into the US session this afternoon. So what we'll be paying a lot of attention to is, again, the US dollar index. So the overall structure of the US dollar index is overbought right now. Technically, it's overbought. We'll be monitoring that very closely. Tomorrow, Janet Yellen is speaking in the afternoon. I believe it's 3 o'clock or 3:30 London time tomorrow, around that. I think it's 3:30. And with that, we're likely to get the next catalyst here for the US dollar index. Last week, it broke out significantly on the FOMC minutes, which of course the breakout on the US dollar index. And with that, we've seen a correction on the precious metals in particular. That's definitely had a strong impact. So if you do trade gold, you trade silver, definitely keep an eye on the US dollar index. Silver, I do like this price structure if it holds on above yesterday's high. So if we've got to break above yesterday's high, if it breaks and it's broken already, but if it continues to hold above yesterday's high, holds above the 50-day moving average, we could have the potential for a rotation back up towards the upper end of this trend channel. That would give rise to a short-term trading opportunity here on silver, and then we'll be looking for the closes to see whether we can remain above key resistance here too. So paying a lot of attention to that, and also the correlations here as well with platinum. Platinum's had a nice supported bounce so far at the lower end of its trend channel, and also palladium too has had some certainly a little bit of a bounce off the lower end of its trend channel too here. So we're watching those very carefully. If you do trade the grains, absolutely, I would say those are going to be a hot market today. So essentially, soybeans, as mentioned previously, is breaking out to 18-month highs today. It's up 24% year to date at the moment. So it's been an incredible move. So if you do trade the agricultural markets, do just have the grains on your radar. Corn, wheat and soybeans are all hot markets right now. We're continuing to get some really good follow through on those markets. Now we've got several positions on at the moment, which we continue to remain in those positions. I've just come off our live trading room with all of our members at the Gold and Silver Club. We've gone through trade management of our positions. We've entered into some fresh positions here as well. And you don't want to miss opportunities like we're getting on some of the agricultural markets at the moment. Soybeans up 24% year to date. London sugar is up over 16% year to date. We've seen again another nice breakout on crude oil, up 13% year to date. We've also seen corn, another breakout, up over 10% year to date. So I would definitely suggest, if you've got any sort of interest in trading the commodity markets, you'd like to take your trading with these markets to the next level, you can of course find out more and join us at the Gold and Silver Club. At the Gold and Silver Club live trading room. With that, you get access to our exclusive live trading ideas ready to implement for instant results. You can join us for all of our live trading room sessions as well. So it might be you're a new trader, you just want to develop a solid understanding of the markets, really fast track your results. Or if you're an experienced trader, you might be experienced in trading forex, or you might be experienced in trading equities, but you've not really got that thorough experience trading commodities. You see the opportunity out there this year on commodities, which are just roaring to the upside so far this year. We've had some incredible moves on commodities, and there's still opportunities to get into a lot of these trades. So if you would like to find out more about the private members live trading room, then all you need to do is very simply get in touch with us at www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. I'll go through that shortly. Essentially, as a member of the private members live trading room, you get access to, you get exclusive weekly live trading room webinars. You get live trade setups ready to implement. You also get real-time trade notifications, so you never miss a profitable trade. You get exact details of where to enter, where to exit, and place your stop loss on each of the trades as well. So we share our exact entry levels with you that we're taking. You get live trade support to help you successfully through each trade. Customized technical charts, very important. So you get all the exact same charts we have. You get access to all of the commodity markets. So we get that a lot, that you might be trying to trade these markets, you can't get access to these markets. How do you get access to the commodities? Well, we help you with that. We get you set up with all of the commodities that we trade, all of the indicators that we use, all of the chart templates. We get you set up with everything on your calls. So that's all set up for you to increase your win rate. And of course, you get exclusive access to our proprietary trading research to give you the ultimate edge when you're trading commodities. So again, if you would like to get exclusive access now, all you need to do is go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com, complete the application form, and we'll get in touch with you ASAP. Okay, so www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. And of course, if you would like to get in touch with us, if you've got any questions at all, you can call us either at our UK office or US office, our Africa office, or our Asia office. Our UK office is 0207 193 0403. Our US office is +1 646 808 0403. Our Africa office is +27 11 083 8403. And our Asia office is +852 8191 0403. So thoroughly look forward to hear from those of you who will be getting in touch. I'll just put the link there as well for you guys if you just want to make that very straightforward. You can check out our website as well, which is www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Feel free to do so. Okay, fantastic. So with that, I don't think there's any more questions at this stage, guys. So I wish you all, of course, profitable trading. Have a successful end of the week here as we go into the Thursday's US session and, of course, Friday's session as well. Yeah, and with that, thanks, guys. Thank you, Adinda. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And yeah, with that, have a fantastic week, and we'll speak to you all real soon. And of course, very much look forward to working with those of you who will be joining us at the Gold and Silver Club. Thanks, everybody. Speak soon. Bye-bye.